Let's start with 3 ohms. Know of the many that are there, the cosmic tree, right? So those are the 3 central figures, and she says these by itself are sufficient. Actually, Phyllis has told us that the Maypole by itself is sufficient, and what we've been doing in these last 2-3 months is focusing on this and learning how to do this in a much more deep and much more profound way. I remember once when Phyllis had come to visit us in 2012, 2013, we'd been practicing the cutting ties work for about 2 years at that time. And we thought we were doing okay. We had finished all our primary cuts, we had done symbol cuts, all of us were doing great work. And then Phyllis looked at us as if we were small children, and she said, "Oh, you have just started to just barely scratch the surface of the work," she told us. And in today's session, we're going to go much scope to share this work with others, but only if you've been practicing yourself. Swami says first be, then do, and then tell. Now, if Swami had told Phyllis to share this work with as many people around the world as possible, and what has been happening here in India, for those of you who've just come to the work, is we've been sharing this work over the last several years with children in orphanages, sex workers, children of sex workers. Some people have gone to prisons and taught this to convicted murderers, giving the cutting ties work to them. More recently, the work has been taught to, I think, 2,000, more than 2,000 police officer trainees in the state of Telangana here in India. Imagine 2,000 police officers going through the streets doing Maypole, the cylinder, the beach ball, and so forth. And it's given to them in their own local language, so it's easy for them to comprehend and practice. And their feedback has been phenomenal. We're seeing their performance rise much higher than those who are not trained with this technique. So there's tremendous scope for this to be done. It's being given to the patients in Swami's hospital here, and they've liked it so much that many of them are coming back just to learn more. So people of all stripes, all colors, all backgrounds are coming to learn the work, and they're finding a direct benefit with it. Okay, so let's go to the Maypole. For those of you who are new, the Maypole is the central symbol that we're going to use. Maypole is a very old symbol, and Phyllis says there's 2 ways to do this. You can use the Maypole, or if you like, you can use, here in India we have something called the Dwaja Stamba, the stupa that's in front of our temples. You can use that either way. The Maypole is an old symbol that was given around May Day. They would place a big pole with a big ball on top of it with many ribbons hanging down, and people would dance in the village square around that Maypole as part of a celebration. If you prefer, you can use the stupa or the Sarva Dharma symbol if that appeals to you, but again, the same thing will hold true. You'll see many different colored ribbons hanging down from the top of this. At the top of the Maypole is this golden colored globe, and this represents the high C, or higher consciousness. The beauty of this work is that everything that we do is guided and directed by the high C. That's a very important sentence. Everything that we do is guided and directed by the high C. High C means higher consciousness or God. That could be Rama or Krishna, Buddha, it could be Satya Sai, could be Shirdi Sai, Jesus, Allah, whatever name or form or formless aspect of God you choose is fine. When we taught this to, when I was in the United States, we would go to gangs in New York City and teach it to them. Now, how do you say high C to gang members? So we told them to connect to the wise guy inside, and it all worked for them. So the terminology doesn't matter, but understand that this is the highest part of ourselves, and it's the same for all of us. So let's go ahead and begin. So wherever you are, you can sit comfortably. If you're sitting in a chair, then ensure that both of your feet are flat on the ground without your legs crossed. If you're sitting on the ground, then just sit comfortably with your back upright. Your shoulders should be relaxed. And if you like, you can place your hands in your lap with the palms facing upward like little cups, so that your mind becomes in a more receptive mode to better receive from the high C, from the higher consciousness. You can leave your eyes open, you can close them completely, or you can leave them halfway open, whatever feels comfortable for you. Imagine that you're sitting in a golden circle. The circle is on the ground, and the diameter of the circle is the same as if you took both of your hands and your arms and extended them on either side of you with the tips extended. And that's the diameter of the circle. It's on the ground. If you're traveling in a vehicle, then wherever your feet would touch when you stood up would be where the golden circle is located. This golden circle represents your own personal space, your own territory. Every animal, every creature has its own territory, and this golden circle represents our own inner space. It doesn't matter if someone is sitting to you closer than the distance of your golden circle. This circle is taking place on the inner scene where the subconscious mind is located. Now, in the center of this hall, in the center of your room, wherever you're seated, imagine that there is a maypole. It can be a beautiful maypole. It can be any height or color that comes to you. At the top is a beautiful golden globe with many different colored ribbons hanging down.